Today we're going to start this thing off by answering questions that people want to know about the Olympic Games. And now that the Olympic Games are on the way, we can dive directly into these questions that people have. Now, a lot of you are wondering because sometimes some of you who are either training with other people or you're on the inside of the game yourself, you're a competitive athlete, you want to know exactly what these guys do. So we're going to go deeply into the questions that most people have asked during some of our live streams over the course of this weekend. So we're going to start off by answering questions from one guy named Sheldon from Washington, Seattle, Washington. So Sheldon wanted to know, what is it that these guys do as far as their weight management over the course of the Olympic Games? So with that being said, before I give you those answers, it's going to be nothing but considerate of me to let you know exactly why am I the one that know how to give you these answers. First of all, before I give you the answers, my name is Eric A. Bradley, coach that is, and for 4 decades I've taught boxing, trained at the highest level of sports performance, got licensed in nutrition, and then I've written over 30 books on how to in the training field. So with that being said, I was under the tutelage of 2 Olympic coaches, 3 tenures, and we've produced an Olympic coach for the 2020 Olympics. So it qualifies me to give you some answers that will give you more insight to what happens at the Olympic level, because I've written, one of the books that I've written was actually used in the 2020 Olympics. So I'm going to kind of table these conversations for you guys. The questions that people have asked are great because for the most part, if you're not a part of the Olympics, these answers are just not front and center. So Sheldon wanted to know, how do they maintain their weight? What you're going to note about this is they have really regimented eating programs for the Olympics, because when you go from the United States or wherever you're from, whether you're from the UK, whether you're from China, it doesn't matter. You've been eating your own particular way, but once you start going to national tournaments and world tournaments, international tournaments, when you start doing those kind of events, what happens is you start getting introduced to different things, different ways of eating. And in an Olympic training center here in Colorado Springs, which is where from Coach Adams and Coach Bradley, I got introduced to the way it works at that level. And so these guys have very, very precise eating regimens. And when you're doing that, you get used to knowing how to maintain your weight. Because the number one thing that I see with athletes is they don't eat based upon what they actually need. They eat according to their appetite. And you can't do that. In elite training sports like the Olympics, that's why it's good to go into different, like the Pan Am Games and the World Series of Boxing, different organizations outside of your basic amateur experiences. You got to challenge yourself, and that's why coaches are classified in level 1s, level 2s, level 3s, level 4, all the way up to 6s. And the reason why that is because everything changes when you get the opportunity to operate and do this thing at a much higher level. So with that being said, you want to keep in mind, why is it that an athlete gets the opportunity to get here and maybe undereat and then he's depleted? One of the pieces of advice that I have for you guys is to know your weight, not allow impulse, because when guys start getting very impulsive, triggered by anxiety, nerves, being away from home, that triggers an appetite. You either lose your appetite totally or you gorge. And so how do you maximize that? Learn to meditate, learn to have quiet time. Don't be around a lot of noise, but remember, you eat to live, not live to eat when you become a competitive athlete in these Olympic Games. Now, I know at this current point in time, the U.S. has captured 3 or maybe 4 Olympic gold medals right now. And you can believe those guys who are trying to get their first medal, whether it's gold, silver, or bronze, their nerves are already shot. So you can look to a person to start thinking about what is it that they can do to maximize their control. And this is kind of what we wanted to do. We wanted to address some things. Like I said, real meditation is a real thing. You cannot overlook it. You eat to live, not live to eat. So you have to have control. And remember, when you're eating, leave 1/3 of the stomach open. That allows the body, the activity that you're taking part in, it allows you to work that food off, and it can pass through your body, and you can still operate at an optimal level. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you try to eat like healthy big meals, you're going to be sluggish. You're going to feel the downtrot of your mentality, that mindset, everything that comes with what we call overeating, and any of those types of that approach is just not good for you. So when you think about it, manage your food, Shelton, and make sure that you leave 1/3 of the belly empty at all times, because metabolic rate comes into play. How many calories you burn, that's what the metabolic rate is, how many actual calories you burn. So during an Olympic event, you're going to burn a lot of calories because you're going to fight a little bit out of your natural zone, because this is for all the marbles in the world. You're also going up against the world's best athletes. So they make sure that you have a monitored eating, structured regimen, and you're weighing in to stay on point. So that's kind of how they craft it, so that there's no slip ups, and you don't want to get to an opportunity to win a medal and you don't make weight. That would not be good. So here is how you go about doing those things. So you take this part of the video and you use that, and don't overlook what these athletes are going through and the mindset that you have to have if you're an athlete. So the next question was from one of my man, Jeffrey, from Wisconsin. Don't have a lot of people from Wisconsin popping in, so that lets you know that the games are world level. They want to know exactly what these guys are doing. Let me pop up the question so I can make sure I get the question right. How do Olympic athletes structure their training schedule? So stay tuned. On Tuesday, we're going to go into, this week on our page, how to eat and manifest your weight, manage that, and what are the components. There are 8 components that you have to pay close attention to in the weight management field. If you're a competitive athlete, or if you're a human being trying to stay at the elitist of level of yourself, no matter what that is, how to consume and how to operate from a physical standpoint. So hopefully you will be on board, and if you're not following, follow the page, because Tuesday is going to be so insightful. We're going to go deeper and deeper just into that topic. And there'll be some realizations that land on your ear that you can use moving forward. And these aren't things that come in trendy. These are things that you apply all the time. These are principles of eating and consuming and making sure that the activity is all about losing 1 pound up here and down here. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, be sure to hang on tight. Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the page. It will be uploaded into our TikTok. It'll stream to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So if you're not following, be sure to follow us over here. My name is Eric A. Bradley, coach that is, and we teach boxing. And until next time, I'll see you all soon in the Winner Circle group on Facebook. Be blessed, guys. Enjoy the Olympics, and let me know who's your team and who's going to end up with the most goals. Peace.